was Harry and Jeff's brainchild starting, 5-10 years ago or more even. And what we've really seen is just an amazing response. And it's because there's nothing else out there quite like it. Harry and Jeff are just visionaries in seeing the need for this. One thing that filmmakers always ask is, who's your audience? Who's going to watch this? Who wants it? Who needs it? And, the statistics show it's 1 in 4 or 1 in 5 that have a diagnosable mental illness in their lifetime. But if it's not you, it's someone you know. If you don't know anyone with a mental health diagnosis, somebody's probably not being totally honest with you. Every one of us at the channel has something ourselves, or one of our loved ones does. And, we've seen the change in our families since we've started working on this and talking about it. People just come to us and are just so appreciative. And, it's bringing people together for movie nights and getting people talking and, getting people to open up. And we're just really pleased to be partnering with NAMI and so many other wonderful mental health organizations that have been doing great work for years and years and providing this resource to them.
It's really an amazing endeavor, and congratulations to you, to Janice, Jeff, Harry, and everybody else at MHC who just doing wonderful, wonderful, compelling, beautifully done work. I think one of the hits that, or concerns at least, that perhaps mainstream media has about doing in-depth, meaningful coverage is that it can't be entertaining. You certainly have proven that. The reaction that you've got from folks, and we see a young man who's been here, I think he's camped out here. He's got 14 T-shirts with him. No, I'm just kidding. People are coming in. They're engaging you. Has anything surprised you about the reaction? And we should say, this is not your regular part of the gig with the Mental Health Channel. You are a story producer. You are the people that put together what we see on the channel. You are actually now doing double duty as PR front people, going out and sort of spreading the word and being cheerleaders. So what's that been like, and how have people reacted to you? Tell us about that experience.
Well, yeah, it's been very interesting. Normally, Janice and I are locked away, hidden away, more or less, and then they let us out every once in a while to go on shoots and make these episodes happen. But it's so exciting to be here and to be, face-to-face with so many amazing advocates and consumers and family members. And, it's really just giving us the energy to move forward and to keep going and, telling us that what we're doing is important, is making an impact, is helping people.
I notice when people come in, they kind of pause because they're not sure what to make about what's going on. You got the table, just to describe the scene for folks. When you walk into the mental health lounge, which is a bit off the beaten path for the convention, but people have managed to find it. You all have done a wonderful job by strategically placing T-shirts everywhere around the convention. We're not going to talk about whether that was authorized, but it's some guerrilla marketing. It seems to be working. People are coming in, they stand, they stare, they see the pile of T-shirts, and then they see you guys. And you guys have talked to everybody like they're the only person in the room. First of all, I want to applaud you on just being yourselves and being so relaxed and engaging and inviting the people. It made me, when I first came here at the beginning of the convention, seeking you guys out, feel incredible. And I see that reaction from other people. Talk to us about some of the things that people have said to you. Have people been surprised? Have they said, hey, can I help? Have they, are you on TV, the cable channel yet? What kind of things have they said to you?
Yeah, well, because, the channel has just launched in May, people are just finding out about us. So people come in and they're curious, who are you? What are you doing? What is all this? Once they sit down and start watching some of the episodes, they, by and large, have just been floored. And they want to know, how can I use this? Is it free? Yeah, it's free. But are there commercials? No, there's no commercials. But I have to pay to show it to a group. No, you just show it to your group. So we've just been on hand talking to people, answering questions. So many people have shared their own stories, their own personal stories with us this week, which is just an honor to, for people to be that honest with us and for us to, learn more. Obviously, with only having 100 episodes on the channel, eventually we can't film everybody's story, but every single conversation that I have informs me a little bit more. And, in the vein of trying to be a better media maker and a more accurate and a more empathetic media maker, having these conversations is everything. And early on in the project, that was really how we got started, just talking to people and learning more on a personal level.
The ability to really have a constant influx, and if somebody come, I think she's looking for you. Are you looking for one of the people that work here? Ma'am, we're live on the radio right now, but that's okay. This is the story producer. Her name is Rachel. She's phenomenal. We're doing an interview right now, but come on over. Okay, fine. Sit over here because I may want to put the microphone in your face and put you on the spot and make you a little uncomfortable, but that's okay. Don't worry about that. What's your name?
Brenda.
Where are you from, Brenda?
Southern California, Riverside County, Hemet.
Riverside County, Hemet. I used to work in Riverside County. We're going to have to talk a little bit later. I was just talking to, first of all, Brenda. This is Rachel. Rachel, this is Brenda. Rachel is one of the story producers here, and we were actually talking about, you showed up right on cue, Brenda. We were talking about the reaction of people when they come into the Mental Health Channel Lounge. You've got the T-shirts here. You've got all the water you can drink. You've got a lot of space in this wonderful programming running so you can see, and they've got it darkened. The only thing missing is popcorn. I just want to make that request for the next time we do this. What's your first impression, Brenda?
Oh, the first thing when I walked in, I wondered, where's the popcorn?
See, I told you, it's a popcorn.
Duly noted.
Or chocolate.
Ooh, yeah. Next year, plenty of chocolate.
So, had you heard, Brenda, about the Mental Health Channel? What actually brought you into the suite today?
I had it on my schedule to get up here before 5 o'clock, so here I am.
Have you been able to form an impression about it yet? Have you had a chance to look around enough?
So far, I can see that there's a lot of things going on at the Mental Health Channel.
Yes, there is. People have reacted to the Mental Health Channel, and Rachel and I were just discussing this very, very positively. The items that you see on the Mental Health Channel, there's more people walking in now as we speak, looking around. The short-form documentaries that they have, they're 10 to 15 minutes in length roughly. They certainly are hard-hitting. They're very, very compelling. They're very, very well done. The idea of having a mental health channel, do you think it's time?
Oh, absolutely. I think it's time, yes. Because one of the things that I think about mental health is I think that we are due for a movement, a big movement, like a civil rights movement, because we not only do we experience stigma, a lot of people say, but I think it's more like discrimination. So I really think that we need to have this, that mental health needs to be the next civil rights movement that we have.
Tell us what you do in Hemet. Are you attached to your local NAMI there?
I am. I'm the executive director of our local affiliate, and I also manage the NAMI Walk. Yeah.
Now give us a little bit for folks who are listening to the broadcast. I mentioned NAMI on my show, Mindset, Mental Health News and Information. That's what this broadcast is. It's going to be airing shortly, airing live as we speak. I've mentioned NAMI a lot. I talk about NAMI a lot. I am personally a NAMI member. The Mental Health Channel, MHC, has an affiliation, a connection with NAMI through stories, through connection, through certainly common cause. Tell folks and give folks a thumbnail as an ED, an executive director, what NAMI does and why it's important.
Well, there's a lot of people out there like myself who have maybe some experience with mental illness in their lifetime. For myself, I have a mother who had a diagnosis of schizophrenia when she was 16, and she took her life when I was 14, and there was 4 of us kids, and then I also have a brother who took his life. So I didn't know anything about mental illness, and found the family-to-family class, which helped me just change my life because I was angry at our society for how they treat people like this and thought it might have made a difference with my family. So that's why I think that it's important that we're all involved and talking about it and bringing these things up. And it's just a very important issue. And there's a lot of people out there that are hurting. And when you start talking about it, other people come up to you and start talking about it with you, and we just really need to have this dialogue. So I think that this is great. I didn't even know we had a mental health channel until today, and you're in Rancho Cucamonga, and we have an Inland Empire Walk that encompasses Riverside and San Bernardino County. So I'm glad I met you.
So we'll definitely get together, and NAMI is certainly instrumental in the family-to-family classes and the peer-to-peer classes and all the basics that it offers across the country in chapters like the Riverside chapter. And I saw Rachel nodding her head as you were describing your losses, and let me join her in saying out loud, I am so sorry for your loss, even though with respect to your mom, it was a while ago. I can't imagine, and I'm sure that it still is difficult. So my sincere condolences for that, and thank you for speaking out. And it is important to us all. The idea, Rachel, of hearing stories like that's what you were talking about a little while ago when you're talking to people, even though it might not be a story that, because you can't do every story that comes to you, it certainly informs how you do what you do.
Exactly, yeah. The more, with every conversation that I have with somebody out there, with a family member, with a consumer, with a care provider, we learn more and we make better stories for these individuals. And, getting back to the, mental health as the next rights movement, I think I don't hope that that's happening. I really feel that happening. We just conducted an interview with, the fantastic Ellen Sachs, lawyer at USC, and she, told me the story of her first, psychotic episode and how she was put in restraints for hours on end, weeks on end. And, later on, after she was, back in pursuing her law degree, she was writing a paper on restraints and the legality of it. And what her professor told her is, it doesn't matter because people with schizophrenia don't feel things the same way we do. And at that moment, she talked to me about this. She didn't have the courage to speak up and say, yes, we do. She's since found that courage and is, a crusader for respecting the human rights, the civil rights of individuals with mental illness. For me, it's a no-brainer. For a lot of people, it is, but it's a huge undertaking that NAMI and just wonderful advocates across the country are doing to create policy change for the better.
Let's go on in here, Brenda. Let's go on in here. You were saying when Rachel was making that statement about speaking up and finally talking about what's really going on and let people know who are not informed, you were shaking your head in agreement saying you too.
Oh, absolutely. I think I've gone into schools and talked to young children, young and adolescents. We have one program that's called Ending the Silence, and you take it into high schools and talk to ninth grade students that are in health classes. Well, this one particular high school had us talk to ninth grade students that were in PE classes. We did the boys and then we did the girls. And part of the presentation is you ask them, how many of you know someone who has a mental illness? And I ask for a show of hands. And then you say, keep your hands raised. Look around. You're not alone. And so that is really powerful because when I first saw that, and every time I see it, I'm still shocked that the kids raise their hands, and I'm surprised when they look around, and I think that's very cool too, that they do look around, because I felt alone. We felt alone as kids, like there was a lot of stigma. We didn't want to talk about suicide. We didn't want to talk about schizophrenia. You just don't want to talk about these things, and so you just felt sort of less than. And so there's a lot of kids out there that are hurting. And then there's another part of the presentation where you ask, do any of you know of anybody who has talked about hurting themselves? Raise your hand. And these kids do. And I'm blown away at how many youth know someone who's talked about hurting themselves in some way. And we really need to be talking about this.
Absolutely. And one of the things that the Mental Health Channel is doing in the number of series that you do, you talk about and you focus on young people.
Yeah, we actually have 2 series dedicated to young people because it's such an important topic. Our series, The Developing Brain, looks at children's mental health issues. And, one of the bigger challenges with that is
absolutely. And one of the things that the Mental Health Channel is doing in the number of series that you do, you talk about and you focus on young people.
Focuses on the Myers family series dedicated to and they talk about because it's such an important topic. Our series, The Developing Brain,